2 minutes late. That's pretty good. I mean, I said 9.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, closer to you than me.
Right?
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is what we do on Monday. Every week. And Monday's a tough day for us because we keep changing Mondays. We never change Tuesday because we have the best intro and name ever for Tech Talk on Tuesday. But Mondays gets rerouted a little bit.
Okay.
And, so we're gonna do something a little bit different this week. We're gonna chill, but there's been a lot going on in EOS news, and we're gonna kind of chill with what's going on in EOS news and what's going on with the market update. That's what we're gonna do. I believe first we'll probably do some. Is that like the Walking Dead zombification?
Do you remember this one? It's like I was really excited. Somebody made this. You freaking geniuses! It was so dumb. I was. This just makes me look really cool, and I don't hate that. It's. I'm gonna make up words here. It's phoenixical. Sure.
Yeah, when you spontaneously combust and come back as a new bird, essentially you're spontaneously combusting and coming back as an astronaut flying to the moon.
Yeah, that was the whole intent. No, it was not.
Of whoever made it, because we can never know, right?
Okay, so this is hold on here. ODNCQ.wham. Because I think it's just more fun if you do it without being customized. And I'm not taking the piss. I'm actually being serious. The nice thing about Wax and EOS is you actually can't send it to an account that doesn't exist. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Do you realize that there are blockchains out there that you can send things?
You can mistake it. Yeah.
Like that's fucking nuts. Like we call ourselves smart. We're not smart. I mean, the banks have figured out that you can't send counts to like you can't send money to an account that doesn't exist. Like that should be the first thing that like blockchain figures out. But it kind of seems like EOSIO chains are the only ones that are doing that.
Yeah. Okay, so the just for anybody who wasn't watching the show before, I'm donating all of the Aether that gets mined from my Workhorse account. It's about 17,000 an hour, and we were tossing around some ideas for it. And Gary was saying, why don't we, use that to build stuff to, build up another mining account that will fund things as well. And I really like that idea, right? And again, like, I'm reserving the right to have a better idea about this stuff whenever we want, but like as a sort of as a test, right? We have this account that I set up actually because people wanted to donate NFTs for a bundle to give away in the Telegram channel, and that worked out too well. We ended up raising like $1,000 worth of NFTs in 24 hours. Yeah. Right. So we're just gonna use that account, right? So anything that's there that produces that is stakeable, we're just gonna leave that to be stakeable. And obviously, if you want to donate any other kind of NFTs there, like I'll bundle them up and do giveaways or whatever, right? So what we'll do though is we'll basically pool Aether in this account and build stuff. And I think the cheapest one to build right now is I have to scroll really far down this thing right now.
It might be smoke. Is that why Gary was saying smoke earlier?
It's not. It's glasses. And we need 1.9 million Aether, and we have right now.
I thought you said 400,000.
No, because I had some more wax in there, and I bought some, so we've got closer to 1 million.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Let's check it out. Blocks. Anyway, whatever. We can do that later. Yeah, glasses is the cheapest one now, so we need about 1 million Aether donated. To do that. And like one of the best ideas, like for the stuff that comes out of that, using it to like buy Minecraft accounts for people or fund like a build competition or whatever, right? Like we'll all kind of on the show decide what to do with that kind of as we go. But no matter what, like anything that comes out of that account is going to go back to the community somehow. Again, we always reserve the right to have better ideas. but that's where that stuff is going to go. So anyway, if you guys want to donate to ODN, CQ.wham, any Aether, feel free to do that. And once we get to 1.9 million Aether in there, we're going to build some stuff. Yeah, Ricardo. I actually have a couple of people that message me. I just haven't been crafting as much as they probably should to stay ahead of the curve. What are you gonna do? Anyway, so we wanted to make this show about EOSIO, and I was just like, no, let's talk about our planet again.
Well, I mean, like that's EOSIO, and I'm okay with that. But I want to do some gratitude because I have a good one today.
Okay, cool. Let me pull it up. We are, in fact, in the place.
I was thinking about doing them on my plot, but that would just be selfish. That's how good my gratitude is.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah. And it's going to lead into what we're about to talk about. And like, I'm going to blow your mind with, you remember when I used to blow your mind about all the news things that I used to bring?
How cute this is.
Like, that's kind of what we're going to do today. We're going to go back old school, except there's just not going to be the post.
Alrighty.
So you can go first if you want, though.
I just need to get set up. I think we're on this. Are we on this floor? Yep. Cool. I'm grateful for the uplifters. All of them in every way.
Seriously, how would you feel about messing up your system? You see between those two walls, there's 3 blocks.
Uh-huh.
Like, what if you go to that and then you turn around and then bang out one of the, like, put a gratitude monument right there, like 2 blocks up on the glass.
Just
right.
Oh, there. Gotta hide the whole thing here.
Motherfucker! What are you doing?
Every once in a while, it just like hits the wrong button. Who's ever gratitude what that was? I'm so sorry. God damn it.
It's gratitude Tourette's.
It is. It is. What are you trying to do here?
I just put a sign there, and no, you don't have to put a block. You can put a sign on glass, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for Yves LaRose and everything he's done for the space.
We're talking like the big ones.
The big ones. Like, this deserves its own space on its own wall. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later.
LaRose, can you help me spell his last name?
YVES L big L A big ROSE.
Big L big A?
No, big L little A.
Okay.
And then big R and then little OSE.
Ew.
And everything he's done for the space. If you don't know what happened, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But there was an EOSX DeFi hack, and EOSX is run by EOS Nation and EOS Asia, or Polar.io, and there was a big hack, and in the aftermath of the hack, Eve resigned as CEO. And EOS Nation is awesome, and they'll be okay. The new CEO is Daniel Keys, and he'll be great. But Eve will no longer be the CEO of EOS Nation. I'm sure he's going to be in the space. I'm sure he's going to be doing a lot of amazing things. But I want to take my hat off that I never wear to Eve, because we've had him on the show a few times. He's super knowledgeable. He's done a lot for the space, and I think that it's really important that we acknowledge the fact that, like, he's not going to be in the role that he was before. And I want that. Sorry, Corey, but I just want that to be a monument all to its own.
Yeah, no, you never have to apologize for that.
I'm hoping to have him back, when he figures out what he's going to do, because I'm sure it's going to be great. But yeah, thank you. Eve,
hey, not giving it. I'm grateful for not giving it this morning. Who saw what I punched? and let me know what it was so I could replace it. I'm grateful in advance for the Emancipation of Antos. That was part of the show we did with Sammy Snake, which is still funny. That song is now playing in my head. Thank you very much for that. So yeah. Soul Canar, also grateful for the I'm great. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get it.
I hope you put Gary's up there as well, because like he's got a really good point, and Gary's grateful for the BPs for stepping up for once, and they might take a little bit of flack for this, but yeah, they stepped up, and to me this is amazing. So if you don't know what happened, EOSX got hacked. It is within the parameters of the EOS block producers to essentially be able to take over accounts. And yeah, like I'm going to talk about this now because I think like this fascinates me, realistically speaking, right? And so essentially what happened was the platform that got hacked, EOS Nation and Polar.io, Eves basically went out and he said, we're going to offer you $100,000 for being a white hat hacker.
Like, give them the option to do the right thing.
Yeah, it's with the option to do the right thing. And it was $14 million, I think, if I'm correct. Yep. I can't remember. And the guy said no. And then he moved his EOS that he had taken, or the stuff that he had taken. It was mostly EOS. There was USDT as well. But he moved it to, I think, potentially upwards of 5,000 different accounts. And the space,
really?
I think so. And the space kind of went quiet for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, bam, there was an announcement by EOS Nation that said, we have effectively taken those accounts back. All keys nullified, all funds gone. And it was hilarious to me because this discussion ensued. Well, what are you going to do with the person's original EOS that was in that account? Well, fuck you, number one. Like, you don't get that back, right? Like, you're a hacker. 5K EOS at a time to many accounts. Sorry, I had that wrong. Maybe it wasn't 5,000 EOS. So thank you, Gary. You're right. So 5K EOS at a time for many accounts. And so this is the power of EOS, because doesn't happen on other blockchains, right? And I'm anticipating a little bit of FUD coming from other blockchains that are going to say, oh, this is like centralized. Well, I mean, read into it whatever you want. It's not centralized. I mean, it takes 15 block producers to vote to be able to freeze these accounts. It's taking a little bit longer to get them back to the contract. But the important thing is this hacker essentially got screwed. He got stomped out. He wasn't able to walk away with those funds. And that's massive to me, right? Now, whenever you're done here, I actually want to share a screen because I think this is absolutely hilarious. And this is the segue that kind of came in today. But we'll finish putting these gratitudes up.
Yeah, I just really want to get. There's a bunch. I feel like I haven't done this in a little while. And
yeah. So put them up. So, but like, if you have any comments about your thoughts in the comments, please say. And we'll put the rest of these up. The multi-sigs to restore the funds are up for voting already, so it's going in the right direction. And awesome. Here's the thing, like the thank you, Gary, again. The funds are not, they're going to go back to the contract. I think I read somewhere in one of the official channels that one of the reasons it's taking so long is because they've got to figure out a way to make sure that like they're safe once they go back, right? Like, whatever that means.
Right. Yeah, with some weird exploit too, right?
Yeah. So like, and if you don't know what EOS X is, it's a block explorer, but they also have this DeFi platform. And with the DeFi platform, what it enables you to do is it enables you to do flash loans. So basically, they've capitalized upon the exploits that have been happening on Ethereum. Because with Ethereum, you can front run other people's transactions if you pay more gas fees. So a lot of what was happening with these DeFi hacks where people were like, loading themselves up and then front running other people's transactions and then like pushing their transactions through so that it would happen in a single block. And that according to my understanding. I might have that slightly wrong, but that's actually not possible on EOS. On EOS, you can't push your transactions through faster. They happen in in sequential order, right? They happen in the order that they go into the network, essentially, right? But what EOSX and their flash loans thing did was they allow people to deposit EOS into this contract, and then from within this contract, you get SX EOS or SX. I forget, but SXDT maybe, USDT, I think, SXUSDT. So anyway, you get these SX tokens, and these SX tokens are placeholder. And as time goes on, the amount that you get for deposits is a little bit, different. So when people go to that platform and they take out a loan to be able to execute these flash loans, part of that profit comes back and gets redistributed. SXUSDT, thank you, Gary. And part of that profit comes back and gets redistributed, into the contract, and then the people who had staked their things, their tokens to that contract, if they cash those SX tokens back, they'll get more, right? So it was actually quite an ingenious little idea. It wasn't being used that much, but the potential was there to be able to execute these flash loans, and that was quite interesting. Now, what I want to show you, I think is hilarious. And whether it's legit or valid or not, I still think it's worth taking a look into. And what it is, actually, is my apology. I'm sorry, Corey, because this is not my apology. I'm grateful that I get to actually reveal this on the show because, like you said, don't say sorry, say what you're thankful for. But this guy deserves to say sorry. And this apparently is the apology of the hacker that was posted on Reddit earlier.
What?
And I don't know if this is legit. It could come out, but even if it's not legit, I think it's worth dissecting this thread because I found this actually quite fascinating. In its entirety, right? Even if he's just posing as the hacker, right? And I mean, of course, most people are saying go to, right? Go to hell, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But I'm a hacker of the Vault SX incident. Please check the original public key, and sorry for
the keys are correct, Gary said.
Okay, cool. And sorry for this incident. Due to the lack of good communication, it caused unnecessary harm. I agreed to BP's to change my key. Well, you didn't have a choice, number one.
Agreeing after the fact is good job.
I asked, this is where it gets good. I asked for their forgiveness for those who have been hurt this time. We'll come back to that in a minute. When I read, I think it is a very good solution. This kind of thing will definitely happen on the blockchain in the future. This article can provide all parties with better ideas to solve the problem. I hope that this kind of thing can be solved reasonably in the future. Finally, I ask EOS Nation and Yves LaRose apologize. They shouldn't be blamed. And those who have given most should not bear such results. So bears in mind that the article that is linked here came out from EOS Go. The article was an EOS Go news article, and it kind of detailed what happened, and it also kind of detailed the perspective of a different hacker who kind of said, this is. I'll put the link in the chat so people can read along because it's a little bit difficult. Sorry, and it was a really good article actually, the EOS Go one. The way they put it together, and I do strongly suggest that you read it. And it was it wasn't the actual hacker in EOS Go, but they did it from the perspective of the hacker, so that they could say how this. Agreed. We're gonna go through the comments, Gary, for sure. And so you can find the thing here, right? And so it was a good kind of thing, and there are white hat hackers who do take the money. Now, like Gary said, what gets it is this is what really made me think, right? Because I was a little bit gutted, right? But man, you've caused incalculable harm this week. And if what I hear is true, this is not your first time. It maybe was his first time. It's kind of incoherent down below. I'm not sure about that. Why do you hurt people who passively dedicate their lives to a vision and community? Do you realize that this time, if it were not for Eves, you would have likely killed people? People are talking suicide. You took people's entire livelihoods. Instead, EOS lost a great leader and a friend, and many people's confidence in EOS has been irreparably shaken after seeing the power of BPs really have, even if they have only used it for good. I kind of semi-disagree with that last comment, and I kind of want to get your take on it, Corey, because like I'm kind of interested to hear what you say. Like, I think, to me, this actually proves that EOS is probably ready for DeFi. Like, I think that
I agree.
Like, yeah.
Right? Like and we think about these things in like an anti-fragile, anti-censorship kind of way, because we've been like, we had to be in that realm, especially the OG Bitcoiners, right? Because they were constantly worried, rightfully, that every government on earth was going to want to kill them, right? Or kill the project, right? And so you had to make it anti-censorship. You had to make it bulletproof in that way. Now, we're sort of past that now, right? Like that, the universe has changed a little bit, and now, you know, it's not whether Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley are going to get into Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. It's how, right? And so creating a situation that is, you know, anti-censorship enough is really important right now. Because think about like the amount of, we always talk about adoption all the time, right? But then like, and there's actually studies on this too, when they talk about like the super early adopters, or the innovators, right? Like the first 1 or 2% of people that get into kind of anything, right? And then there's the early adopters, that's like the 3% to 6-7% or whatever. And of course, it goes in a bell curve. The innovators always hate the early adopters, right? Like in anything. And because the early adopters are basically coming in, and you know, there's just like there's a massive culture that gets developed, you know, initially, right? Which is something that I'm paying attention to for the uplift too, which is why, you know, we're trying to encode so many of these things into the way this just works. But now having EOSIO able to, for example, like this, like imagine the risk profile for even like a medium size, like normal, you know, Wall Street type situation or whatever, right? They're going to look at this and realize that even if they screw up in this new technology where screwing up is for sure going to happen, right? It's no longer an existential threat completely. You still have to be careful about it because the BPs have to be on your side and right?
Right.
But it's a risk off for them. And, you know, if you're an EOS bag holder or want to have like hundreds of trillions of dollars come into, you know, EOS or different things or whatever, right? Or hundreds of billions or like some stupid large number, then, you know, this is a make or break moment. And, you know, is it perfect? No. Right? Could there be ways that this could go wrong? Of course there is. Democracy is ugly and messy. It just happens to be better than everything else, right? That we currently, you know, are messing around with. So yeah, no, I'm for it, but I had to think about it too. Like it's not an easy thing. It's not it's not without ramifications, obviously. But for me, like I'm excited about, you know, the legacy systems, the smart ones, thinking, okay, we need to get into this because it's still decentralized in a massive way. It's still not run by the SEC, you know, in the same ways that they have a stranglehold on Wall Street, right? Like there's, you know, I think it's a good thing to have those people, you know, able to come and work in these spaces. So, yeah. Yeah.
And like, for the record, obviously we are not defending the hacker by saying this, but what we are, like, this is never.
I'm not at all. That guy's a dick.
I know.
Like, look at like.
I know, but
getting to the point where you find out what.
You know. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Like sorry for interrupting. I think it's just like it's like our little technical difficulties, you know, thing that happened this week or whatever, right? Ultimately, it's going to make us. It already has made us a lot stronger, and it's better that it happens now than when we have, you know, a million people in this space.
This has never happened before anywhere in the space, right? Like the fact that like a hacker was just basically like blocked out, right? Like the fact that they can go, you're right, the ramifications of this are crazy, but the fact that they can just go in and change the keys, that's nuts, right? Like it kind of happened, like they kind of rolled back the Ethereum network, which is like, you know, why Ethereum Classic and Ethereum exist. Binance got hacked before this or during the Safu fund, and they tried to roll back the Bitcoin and Ethereum network, and they were met with like harsh resistance, right?
Yeah,
I think maybe this is what this is saying, but like, you know, what's interesting about this is Dan had a tweet, Dan Larmer had a tweet, because he's been, you know, kind of involved in the Eden thing and not really paying attention to what's going on with Block One, but he essentially had a tweet. Block One wasn't even an issue with this, right? Like they weren't even involved. Dan had a tweet from the Eden side that said like, this is why, you know, this is the extent of where the code should go, right? And the block producers decided to roll it back. Like you said, if a smaller project would have been involved, would that have happened? I don't know. I know that there's a lot of people in the community that are pushing for like standardized guidelines that people can use, and I don't think that's a bad idea. However, the fact that like people were like talking about committing suicide and stuff like that, like that's sad. We're gonna get to that later. Why do you hurt people who passionately dedicate their lives to a vision of a community? Now, here's where things start to get problematic, right? One of the comments was they knew the risk they were signing up for when using it. Considering suicide only means you're more overextended in crypto than you should be.
I mean, that's just true, right? Like, I don't.
Yeah,
like, it is though. Like,
you're right.
Stop. If you're considering suicide, it's because you screwed everything up yourself. I'm so sorry about this.
I get it.
How many times do we have to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket? It's cryptocurrency. It's a fucking Wild West.
I get it. Like, and so let alone why the fuck you're touching DeFi with that amount of money. So now you can have your rant, because Corey's right. Like, I want you to have this rant fully. You shouldn't. Number one, you shouldn't be considering suicide because you're overextended. Number two, learn from this and don't get yourself overextended. Right?
Yes, please. Yes.
Right. However, they knew the risks. If it was his intent, he could have achieved it with far less harm. You are victim blaming. They shouldn't be wearing such short skirts. I'm kind of on board with that comment, actually, right? Like, I live in a country where people wear short skirts that, like, if they were, you know, stateside or in other countries of the world, they would be victim blamed. Because people in this country don't think like that. People in Asia don't think the same way, I think, a lot of times as people in the West. So it's an interesting, thought analysis for me. Is it victim blaming? I 100% agree with Corey. Don't overextend yourself. You shouldn't be committing suicide. But at the same time, saying like, "Well, I'm a hacker," and I know it's not him who's saying. I'm saying like, "I'm a hacker," and they shouldn't overextend themselves, right?
They're still They're still causing people pain. I can't go past that whole thing without, everyone has to take personal responsibility for this stuff, including the shitheel who did all the hacking, right? Like, that and he's clearly. Not that, like, that little apology is just, it's cute to me, right? Like, I don't care about that at all. You go, Soul, the easiest way to send Aether is either through blocks or Alcor. I actually use the Alcor wallet. I kind of use that more than any other wallet now, just because I'm in there so much. They've done a really good job with Alcor. Can I just say that out loud? Like, that's like, it's a tool that I use aggressively.
Who do we know that we could have on the show?
I think I talked to them on Twitter briefly. Yeah. Let me find out. So by the way, we got 1.26 million now. Alcor's down? No, it's not down. I'm there right now.
I mean, I have to say this, not giving it, because like those are mini skirts in Japan. Mini skirts in Japan aren't really mini skirts. They're more like weight belts.
Oh, it is down. Look at that. They're more like weight belts. It's like a belt with an attitude.
No, man, like they're super short, and like there's a lot of things that happen, right? Like, but like I actively try not to look up when I'm on an escalator. I mean, other people actively try to get out their cell phones. There's a difference, right? I mean,
that's messed up. All right.
If you happen to see something, you happen to see it. But like, just because you see something doesn't mean you have to take it home. That's all I'm going to say.
So guys, Alcor is not down. Not given it's having a problem, but I just tested it. It's low.
Okay, so let's continue. People should not invest all their money in a project. We always said that. Total noob here, but if you're upset that some people, are there vulnerabilities that you found? And you also appreciate the other coins on the EOS blockchain. We can kind of skip over that. I like this comment. What did you think when you were offered 100K? Not enough, not able to trust off-ramp of the money. Taking the whole pie was way too tempting. What was your price if any offer would have mattered? Oh, and what do you mean by lack of good communication? Did you not see the offer and have a way to respond? I think
that's all really, it really is as like a sort of ethical, moral dilemma, right? That is kind of fascinating, right? Like what would have worked? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? Because then because there's a number that for a project like that is like, oh well, you found a bug, we would pay you anyway, right? And you could plan for that, right. But it would have to be really small compared to stealing $14 million or whatever, right?
Yeah, and I mean 100%, he didn't think he would get busted. He didn't think his keys would get locked out. He's an ass, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
He played the game and he fucked up, but
yeah. Well, and okay, I rarely put on tinfoil hats, and I get very annoyed when other people do. But there's my little caveat. Caveat.
That was a well played. I like it. Nice. It's especially impressive being you don't like those kind of jokes.
That was 30 seconds of planning there. So let's say you're bullish. The same company that utterly, completely, and totally fucking failed with voice, like just dropped the ball on your dick, failed. Sorry for that image.
No, I mean that's a long dick, so it's hard not to drop a ball on it.
I mean, it is what it is, right? Anyway, so
it's 240,000 Bitcoin long dick. That's pretty big. Right?
It's a long Bitcoin dick. Okay, it's too weird now. And you are courting actively. I mean, maybe they're not, and they're really, really terrible at this. But no, I mean, the partners that have been announced, the people attached to Bullish, are among the biggest names in tech investing, right? So you're courting, big banks, you're courting huge outfits and funds, and the biggest question they have is, what if somebody comes in and steals all of our stuff? So you hire a hacker, go after whatever you can go after, has to be a big score, and get it done. And then all the block producers will take a look at this dilemma and realize everything that I've said about it. And block producers want to make money, right? So do you want EOS at $1,000 or at $10? Because this is a pivotal moment as this possibility, right? So this hack goes through, the BPs come in, create some consensus, show how this particular sausage gets made, yada yada yada, right? And now the 100 giant corporations that you've been talking to about Profi are now to like, hey, cool. Like, we're safe with you guys, right?
Can we please have Brendan Blummer on the show and just straight up ask him, did you hire a hacker to get people to come on and trust Bullish?
I mean, that's it's a pretty good theory, right? Again, we don't know. This isn't even rampant speculation. This is just me saying words out of my face hole. Just so I don't know anything. This is not real. Caveat. But it would make sense, right? If it really is, that one trust point is probably the difference between EOS at $10 and EOS at 100 or 500, right? Like the kind of capital flows that are possible. If people feel like that is not a systemic existential risk, is a couple of zeros or 4 for how much money they might want to bring into the space. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm just a guy who talks on the internet.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know everything that happens in our own organization. We had a mysterious donor that doubled our wax reward pool for the uplift. We don't know who that was. Right? I mean,
yeah,
we have guesses, but we don't know. I mean, you can scour through other videos. There's a lot of them on the channel. Have fun.
You probably figure it out.
Interesting. I'm a hacker of Vault SX incident. You're just one of the hackers. You have the knowledge to hack a smart contract, and you can't communicate properly with BPs. You did what you did on your own, or someone paid you to do it. Interesting enough. EOS is the first chain that you hacked, or have you had more chains in your collection? I think that's an interesting point. Like I said, this has never happened before. Nobody's ever actually been able to like take over other people's keys, right? Like the ramifications of this are huge, but I think the ramifications of this are good because they actually, like you said, work in Block One's favor. With everything that Brendan Blummer has been saying, they've been saying, you know, we don't really care. We're going to do things our own way, and we're going to bring the mainstream into it. And I mean, like, if you can secure the fact that people's funds are safe, and you can bring major banks into DeFi, and you can say, look, if you get hacked, we'll get the BPs to fucking steal that hacker's keys. That's a big freaking deal. You might be a decentralized, you know, person who believes in Monero and Ether and all this other stuff. That's beside the point. You know, banks are not going to use Monero. Banks are not going to, you know, use. They might use Ethereum, like they might, but like there's a lot more risk than EOS at this point in time. From what I see, you're not a very good guy. If you were good, you didn't try to transfer your stolen funds to prove me wrong. Glad that the BP stopped you in time. From mistakes we learned, and this will make EOS stronger. And I do agree with this. I think, you know, I just like, maybe this isn't even the guy. Maybe this is just some guy that's like Gary said the transactions are correct. I have no, you know, doubt with that in my mind. But like, you know, it seems like this is interesting to me. Just this whole scenario is interesting to me because you messed up. You hacked something. You had the chance to like buy yourself out, and you decided not to, right? And I think that that's a really interesting scenario. And here's the thing. This is where my gratitude kicks off today, right? A lot of people in the community, not a lot, but a few people in the community. I mean, it's like you always say, Corey, I mean, there's a handful of people that, you know, wreck the city, right? And there's a few, you know, EOS Nation has come under attacks for collusion and things like that in the recent past, but it's a democracy, and democracy isn't perfect. And anyone who believes that democracy is perfect because America is a free nation, well, I'm like, yeah, let's
yeah, just show up anywhere, right? Show up anywhere there's the democracy. Half the people hate the other half of the people, and we're doing our best, right? It's not great. I can't remember. It was like I can't remember who was it that said FDR or something like that, right? Democracy is an absolutely like blood curdlingly terrible system. It just happens to be better than all the systems that, you know, the rest of the systems that are out there currently. And this is one of the things why, you know, I love EOSIO is doing, frankly. It's a decentralized democracy. There's economic interest involved. And we're basically like, I guess the thing that I like most about it, Jimmy, is that we're iterating now in the democratic governance space, right? With DAOs, we're iterating how we might collaborate in small groups, medium-sized groups, and big groups. And that's hugely important, right? Because the amount of iterating we were doing in democracy over the last 200 years is basically fucking zero, right? You can look at the what is it? Ranked choice voting in Ireland. There's an awesome how's the name of that podcast? God damn it, Radiolab, something like that, where they're talking about the ranked choice voting everywhere and why it's so important. And it really is. Google it, fairvote.com or org or whatever the fuck it is. But their system is really, really good, right? And the more you analyze it, the better it looks like it is. And they came up with this and they instituted, I guess, in like the 80s, right? And you know, it's an iteration of how we can do democracy, and it's 100 times better than, you know, what we do here, where you have, you know, entrenched powers and yada yada yada, right? It's an old system, right? Like freaking slave owners came up with this system. It's not perfect, right? And we're trying to make it better, but like it iterates the United States democracy and a lot like older democracies kind of writ large. I think there's too many entrenched powers. So iterating, trying new things is very hard to do, right? It's designed to be that way. It's very, very hard to pull those things off. And so now, like in the DAO space and in the EOSIO space, we're in a situation where over the course of months, sometimes years, kind of at the most, we're iterating these new methodologies of democratic governance. And I'm fucking here for it because this is going to improve the world. And there will be many mistakes, right? Like inevitably there will be many mistakes. But that's how you get better.
And I mean, if you're stuck in that headspace where you think that America is the ultimate democracy, then that's up to you. You can stay stuck in that headspace, or you can do a little bit of research. It's like,
I don't know. Does anyone think that? Like, come on now. Maybe EOS USA is like contractually obliged to say that he thinks that, but even I don't think he thinks that.
No. Like, but here's the thing, right? Like, if you look at the two-party system in America, if you look at what happens in Canada with like our voting system, if you look at what happens in Australia, where they force people to vote, well,
it's not they're forced, right? Yeah, but you're dinged if you don't vote, and right, I'm kind of here for that, right? Like, they're like as a little node in a democracy, you're getting benefits accrued that we're all putting together. It's like a collaborative effort, right? You might not agree on the details, but that's what it is. And so, like, you should have to do your part of it to be in there.
Like that is wax, right? Like, as a voter in wax, if you don't participate in the network, if you don't vote, your vote power deteriorates over time, right? Like, it's an Australian democratic system in a way. And then, like, if you want to get really crazy, just go look at my old tribe blog where I basically argue that, Sparta was more democratic than Athens, and I fucking win. So like, go do that, right?
It's so arcane. They're like, oh, you want to talk about democracy and technology? Well, Sparta was cooler than Greece or Athens. Fuck you. Cooler than Greece.
No, but it's a really interesting concept, right? And I think sorry, I wanted to nullify your comment, and I wanted to put this up, right? And Gary has a really good point, because I've been following these projects. I've been working closely with some of these projects. And Gary and some of the best coders in the system for a long time. Like back in the day, I was on podcasts with John Heater and Dennis. I work for other DeFi, DAX and things like that. And I'm no genius, but like, I kind of, understand where these, geniuses are coming from. And there are contract audits. There were contract audits, and there was a hole in it. And Dennis has been, across the space. He's part of EOS Nation. Joe, I think he's a really good coder. And these audits, somebody found a hole in them, right? I like this analogy. I kind of don't want to bring it up, but I like it. Because here's the thing. With Uplift, especially Uplift Art and now Uplift Nation, one of the reasons that Uplift Art actually exists is because it can't exist any other way. It can't exist as the way that MBlue intended it to exist. Because the way that MBlue intended it to exist was a place whereby we could onboard mass amounts of capital via charities. And it doesn't work because we can't fund it, because it makes more sense for people who are making millions of dollars a year to donate that capital and write it off than coming and working for a nonprofit organization.
It's weird, right? Yeah, that's super fascinating to me. Hold on here. What do we need left? I think we're getting closer. We needed 550,000. I'll tell you exactly where we're at when this refreshes. But we're rocking and rolling, that's for sure. You guys are awesome. I freaking love hanging out with these people. The whole idea that like we could do this and the stuff that I'm donating could end up being matching funds to build an even bigger mining rig to do even more good is that's like 3 or 4 wins right there.
It's fucked up. We started this at 1 million and we wanted to get to 1.8 million. There's 20 fucking people that are watching this live and we're already there.
We're not there yet. We need to get 1.9 million is what we need. And then I think with the stuff that's in there already, we're at 1.35 million right now.
But yeah, I mean, that's what my take from this hack, right? Like, I had a big fucking blowout with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, and we kind of made up. But it's funny because he is very anti-EOS. He's everything anti-EOS because, like, for whatever reason, he just hates Dan.
Yeah,
right?
That's weird.
And I mean, that's his prerogative, right? But for the first little while, he refused to, like, listen to Michael EOS USA because it's Michael EOS USA. But when we did the roundtable, he's like, I really like Michael's point. He's like, Michael's really good, right? And like the minute that he found out that Michael like is involved with like Bitcoin and other blockchains and things like that, right? Like it makes a difference. There's always going to be people like, and here's the thing, like I'm at the point now where I don't really like Apple, but I understand that it's easier, right? Like, and I understand the people who say like Apple is shit. Like, yeah, fair enough, but you got to fucking learn coding to be able to use a window machine in my personal opinion, right? Like maybe I'm just dumb or maybe I'm just acclimatized to Mac, right? Like maybe like other people, but like I think if you don't understand computers, Apple's easy, especially if you live in a foreign country where everything's translated for you, right? Like that's my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong because I'm not a tech guy, right? But I think like this is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to do. And this comment came up with the legend drop today. It's like, are you guys ever going to accept, are you ever going to accept, I might get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Are you ever like,
start saying so?
Are you ever going to accept, other cryptos? And like, the idea is like, eventually, probably we will accept other cryptos, as Legend progresses forward. But somebody said in the comments, and they're completely right, like this is the perfect onboarding experience because like what Legend is doing, Legend is focusing on the other, Legend is focusing on the 99%, right? They're focusing on the 99% that like don't understand crypto, don't care about crypto. Like they're focused on the ideology of taking out a 30-year loan and getting a stable job where no stable job exists, so that like they can retire when they're 60 and their kids can might have something when they die, right? Sorry, that's kind of the way that I feel. I'm not a rich man, but I might be more knowledgeable than a box of chocolates, potentially. I
think it depends on the box of chocolates, but like better than the average box of chocolates.
Better than the average, right? I'm a box of turtles that look like turtles. You remember when turtles used to look like turtles and now they don't?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's the thing. But anyway, like here's the thing with the Legend thing, right? Like somebody pointed this out in our last stream. Right, Legend is brilliant because do you know what you can do? You can buy NFTs with your credit card, and then when those NFTs are released to you, you can actually sell them on a secondary market like Atomic Hub, and you can have wax. Like this is kind of a way into crypto. I will say this though. Apparently, you're only allowed to buy one of each kind unless you buy them on the secondary market, which I really appreciate. But like, there's that ability, there's that inroad, there's that quote unquote prospector's back road across the border.
Right. The wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Yeah. So people showing up mid-show here. Welcome. You guys are awesome. Here's what's going on. If you look at kzajiao.lam is what the account I've been using to give a bunch of stuff away. I've had a bunch of stuff staked there for a while. It's making about 17.5 thousand an hour in Aether, and I decided today that I'm just going to start giving that away. And the way we're going to do it, for the time being, again, I reserve the right to come up with a better idea, but like this is stuff that I'm always going to be giving away. Just this is my personal account. I just want to use it to give back in whatever interesting ways we can. And a few people kind of coalesced around an idea of using that Aether to build more Our Planet, elements, or craft more Our Planet elements that we can then use to fund all sorts of cool shit. So what's going on is, we've got that account, what was it, odncq.wam, where people have been donating NFTs, and then I create bundles, and when we hit milestones on Discord or Telegram, we give those away. It was super fun. Raised like $1,000 worth of NFTs the first time we tried it. It was mental. So I can use that account for this. And, all the stuff that is stakeable, we're going to stake it so that they're doing more. And I'm going to be donating my, 17,000 plus whatever an hour to that account to craft stuff. And people have been donating Aether so that we can get to craft faster. And right now, the lowest thing that we want or that you can craft on our planet. It's 1.9 million. And we currently, if I'm not mistaken, have 1.41 million Aether right now. So again, like we're going to get there anyway, just based on the stuff that I'm donating. But I'm really, really loving this whole, it's almost like it feels like matching funds, right? Where, I'm throwing in a bunch and the community's throwing in a bunch so we can do this faster, which is fun. And so like what we'll do with those funds, we're talking about building competitions. We're talking about buying Minecraft accounts maybe for people. What we do with that, we'll kind of loosely all kind of, you guys come up with some ideas. We'll pick the best ones and kind of do that. So anyway, that's what's going on with that account. You are now updated.
I think we need a meme because you're on one side over there and I'm on the other side over here. And you had some Aether stacked and you kind of got into your degen ideologies and you started playing the game. I did it once with 2 different accounts and I missed out on the land drop.
You're still a little stung about that, huh?
I'm not stung about it, but what I'm saying is listen to him. He knows what's up, right? You see those television commercials, like the Coke Pepsi ones or the, I don't know, whatever they are. But it's be like this guy, not like that guy. You want to be like the Uplift guy over there. The only thing that's wrong is he's not drinking out of the Uplift mug.
That's true. I'm hoping I was repping so far this way, and I really wanted those mugs are kind of small, and I really wanted a big mug. So anyway.
I'm sorry. I do need to put this up here because I'm really happy that Curtis got the reference. Turtle quality has totally drastically declined. I'm really pissed about it, right?
Hey, Humble Drawing, we'll send over some NFTs for you guys to give to the community. Thank you so much for doing that. That's really, really awesome. New Old, please enable visiting for non-landowners ASAP. It's on our top 4 or 5 list. Just please know that our whole team is working nonstop around the clock on all of this stuff. We're gonna make that as soon as possible. It's gonna feel like it's gonna take too long. I guarantee you, it's gonna feel that way. Just know that we're not fucking around. We're not doing anything but work. And there's just a lot of stuff still on our list to get the alpha secure. And I would consider that an alpha feature too, right? Like being able to have a passport system.
However, before you get pissy about it, Corey,
I'm not. What do you mean? I'm not busy.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. There was a comma in there, which there was a semicolon in there. Whatever. I wasn't saying that you were getting pissy. I was saying before other people get pissy, Corey. I don't know
semicolon. So not just a colon is like a pause, but like a semicolon, which is like a context shift.
Yeah, a context shift. But it didn't come over really.
Yeah. Okay.
So before you get too pissy, people out there
they're not. That was a genuine question. No.
I know, and you and I keep coming back to this because you're much more positive than me. I'm I use different people use different things, right? Actually, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch the Jen interview with NFT Nick because it was super fun. And he tells the story of how he got into this space, right? And how he became a part of us. It's really good. And it's interesting because it's a very similar tale that I had, getting into crypto in general and getting into EOS in general. And I think that's super fun. So he's the ball buster of the group. He can be a hard ass at times, and we love him for it. But mostly, he likes to make people laugh, right? And different people have different ways to make people laugh, and different people have different characters. So when I say you, Corey pointed this out last week, maybe. I don't mean you people who are watching here. The 22 of you are probably super awesome and would never do this. But I kind of feel like I'm a little bit of a comedian, depending upon how much sake I've drank. So let's just go with that. Anyway, before anyone out there who's watching this back later gets super pissy, I just want to say, Corey, how long have we been doing this? We've been doing this show for 6 months, maybe. We started one day a week.
Here's the thing, we really the uplift got started in my mind. We were doing some pre-stuff, we were doing some building. When Tuttle came on board, that's when okay, shit just got hella and we'd already done some seed, so maybe a couple weeks before that, right? So a couple, because we did that initial sale. Yeah, it's probably 2 weeks before Tuttle came on board. She's been with us for 6 weeks. We've been doing this for 2 fucking months.
Yeah, we've been open for 2 months.
What? I feel like it's been a year and a half. And honestly, we have put in, we've no bullshit. We've probably put in 7 months worth of normal people hours, right? Like I book my time off on the weekend in 2 hour. Like I get 2 hours off on the weekend in the morning. That's my weekends. And like normal days, I probably get an hour and a half to eat. And then the rest of it is just work the entire time and then pass out, right? With some exceptions, but that's generally the way it is. It's fucking crazy.
We talked about this on the last show that happened, an hour before this one. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the show with Greg, Russ, Jen, and Sue about the old crafters, about the old school, people who created this world or who were in this world with Corey and Bullshipples and Yuri and Bob Benson and all of Greg and all of these people, right? Like these people are kind of new to crypto, and there's a lot of people like me that I'm grateful to Corey as well in this sense, because I'm new to Minecraft. It's like this is where like worlds collide. Essentially, you've got the Minecrafters and you've got the you've got the crypto people, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm kind of new to YouTubing too. Okay, I'm more of like a backroom kind of writer, but like I kind of really
not
like
anymore.
The fact that like I'm here with you. So Zestra, we love you. Jen and I actually, under the direction of NFT Nick, we're actually working on maybe a pre-recorded series, which is a little bit difficult for me because like I don't like to be like pre-recorded and then cut out. I like to have the ability to go off on tangents whenever I want. But we're actually working on like a kind of like a beginner's guide for both sides. And hopefully we're going to find time to sit down and have the beginner guide for the people who aren't in depth with Minecraft and the people who aren't in depth with crypto. And in order to enable parties from both areas, right? Like, especially when Gary's plan goes through and we drop you in the middle of survival land with like no bed and no resources, and the zombies will kill you in 5 minutes. That's good. That's Monday and chill. Maybe I like it. Again.
So here's I guess we could do it tomorrow. Because we'll definitely have. Well, we should have enough by tomorrow. I'm sending another.
We can do it today. Go for it. I know how much you like doing shit today. So
I do. Well, we have. I'm gonna transfer. I'm transferring 17,000. This was like another hour, right? So I'm sending 17,000 over there from the Kazajao one right now.
Okay,
and then we need about like, what is it? We still need about 500,000 to get to 0.9. Go 1.4 million, something like that.
I mean, Tech Geek's been sending all day, and he might just send you more. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you got rid of the thing. That's the thing. I wanted to leave that.
Sorry. Yeah, we'll put that up again.
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
And we kind of cut the last episode short, so we can ramble on about what's coming up this week or any other ideas that you might have. And like I can tell the story about Chicken Caw, which I don't really understand, but like it's crazy. I went and visited somebody next to my plot today. The builders that are happening in Chicken Caw, they're going nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of excited to see them finish. There's some crazy shit going on. Like I went to some dude's like plot that was like 2 lakes over from my fucking mini obscure plot that I'm having a lot of fun on. I climbed up the ladder and I got to his plot and he looked at me and then I messaged him. Like his name was like ETA something. He's in the northern central quadrant. And he's like, I'm sorry, I apologize like for the monstrosity, but I'm not finished yet. I'm like, dude, it's been like 2 days.
Yeah,
and you've already got like a platform like up in the air. Like,
whoa!
So I chatted with him. I'm like I could see like half of the map from like how he had built. I like it because like I'm not a Minecrafter, but like it's funny. Like when I go and I look around now, I get like really good ideas. Because like there was an episode that you did where like you had your lawn and plot and you were in survival mode and you're like jumping on rocks, and I'm like, I didn't know how to do that. That's like my new favorite thing to do now. It's like just start on the ground, jump, place brick, jump, place brick, jump, place brick, see how high you can get. Right? Like, and it's like if you did like so, this guy did it essentially like on a mountain, you know, beside a lake. And like I'm guessing he's like his height is like way up there. Like I went and got a coffee, and when I came back, I was still falling after I jumped off his platform into the water.
So
like
we're at 1.94 million. Tech Geek threw in 500K Aether.
I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah. And looks like I think it was. Who was that? Humble something. Hey, Hustle House, how's it going, man? By the way, I think Hustle's still taking donations for a huge giveaway for when he hits 10K. By the way, and this is going to come from a different account, Hustle House. I think I put in like 300K for that. So I can't remember exactly what it was, but message me about that and I'll get that to you today. Just we have it in there. But yeah, so for anyone, just coming to this. I am donating 17.5 thousand an hour from one of my accounts to the community. I just wanted to do giveaways. This is just like my personal thing. It's not a company thing. I just kind of wanted to use it to give back. And so the what we're doing with it right now, and again, I reserve the right to have a better idea or change my mind at any time, just in case. But like what we're doing, I might not, because this might actually just be a really good kind of fun engine. So what happened is we decided to Gary came up with the idea of making like crafting stuff and then using that stuff to do cool stuff. So like we can, basically just bootstrap on top of the bootstrap, which is super fun. I think that's really cool, right? So we need 1.9 million Aether to craft our first thing for that account. That account is going to be odncq.wham, which is our bundle account. You can donate, our planet mineable NFTs if you want to. All those will be staked. You can donate any other kind of NFTs that you want. We use those for bundles to do giveaways when we hit milestones on Telegram or Discord. Or this show, we just hit 1,000. We should just do like a, we're gonna have to do a bunch of giveaways tomorrow, Jimmy D. But yeah, so people started donating Aether to get us to 1.9 million faster because I only had I think 900,000 or whatever it was, right? And so in the last hour, we got to 1.97. Million Aether, which is fun. If we get to 2,050,000 in the next couple of minutes, we could do archipelago. Archipelago? How do you fucking say that word, Jimmy?
I don't know. I'm not looking. Archipelago?
Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. Anyway, so we're actually only about 70K Aether away from archipelago. Now, the word just looks wrong now. Anyway, so either way, I'm gonna hang out here and mint this and do this right now, and then we'll get it staked and we'll have that much more power when we come back tomorrow, which is super fun. Like I just really and again, like ideas around what we might be able to do from that mining power from ODNCQ from our community mining rig, which is essentially what this is. Buying Minecraft accounts for people, or funding a building competition, or right. We could just figure it out.
Our community is awesome, and so are you. So I'm going to say two things. I'm going to say two things. Number one, I love the fact that when we used to do the EOSIO Weekly updates, you were like, fuck that, man. I'm not fucking going to tell people that this isn't financial advice. It is. But now you're leading with the disclaimer, I reserve the right to change my mind at any point in time. I think that's like, that's like aetherizing your protocol, really. You're building it. You're creating new elements in space, and I like it. See what I did there?
Yeah, no, Ricardo, I'm absolutely going to show it for sure.
And I love our community as well, because apparently they do shit like this. Apparently I do get listened to sometimes.
Do shit like what?
Because apparently this is an NFT now. I love it. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys are on.
That's good.
That's really good.
Oh man, that's funny. Soul, what about a statue building competition? I think that's a great idea. That's funny.
It's really good. Yeah, it's
all
really
right,
good.
I want to figure out to figure out what is in this account so that I can stake it because somebody actually made one. We still have 1.97. So again, if we get to once I'm done this, if we get to 2,050,000, we'll do that. Oh, it's a Ken Bro. Oh man, these humble houses things are freaking adorable, man.
So we are going to have some building competitions. It might not be a statue building competition, but we're definitely looking into building competitions. And if you haven't joined the Telegram, go join the Telegram because some of the builds, especially on Genesis, where people have creative mode, are freaking amazing. And there's pictures popping up that are just going to blow your mind.
So here's the other thing, Jimmy. In this thing, we had some land donated and an alpha wing donated. And because of the statement that I suggested that anything that is mineable we would leave in the account, we probably should never give those away.
Yeah, if we can stake them, let's stake them.
We don't need to stake them.
Why?
Because they're going to give out stuff anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And this is like, I actually just murdered all the speculation that's been going on in Telegram. So like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, motherfuckers. Anyway. Also, like really,
but you bring up a good point because it's funny because like now my go-to like I do apologize to any new people who think I'm an ass. Like I'm kind of an ass, but I'm only an ass to
You're
friends.
not really though.
No, but like here's the thing: somebody came into the Uplift Art Telegram. And Blue, if you're listening, we're gonna fix this because we fucking need a legend Telegram, by the way. But anyway, like somebody came into the Uplift Art Telegram today, and they were asking questions. They're like, "Oh, very curious statement that if you have one of these gold $8 coins, that they will be, prime for future benefits. What should I do about this? Is there future benefits? I mean, yes, there's always future benefits. We're not going to say that there's future benefits, and don't be surprised if there aren't, but like probably, this is what we do. We're like, I think maybe we need to do a whole week of episodes of the cast of Pay It Forward because this is pretty much the organization that we're involved in. Right.
I want to pivot because like I sometimes get annoyed and be like, oh, what do I get from this NFT? I mean, we're training everyone to feel like that, right? So it's on us for creating value that way. So people are always curious about that. That's great. But maybe as a community, we can help each other. Like for the OG, there's 24 people in here. You guys are not fucking around. You guys are taking this really seriously. You're here with us. We do this every morning, whatever, right? For us, not necessarily for there's noobs coming in and people are going to we have to try to meet people where they're at. This is something I'm trying to do too, because it's going to reduce all of our stress. And by all of our stress, I mean mine. Right? So people are doing their best with the information they have, and we're putting this energy out there, training people to think that NFTs have value. That's great. That's a really good thing. Now, for the 26 people here, let's flip this into how can we create value for other people's NFTs, other projects, the NFTs that are in your wallet, and right? That's a really fun thing to figure that stuff out. I am apparently sent some more Aether, so we're gonna get on to the whole. If we don't have it 2 million, and we totally do, never mind. I am just crushed it. So yeah, like I want to practice doing that myself, right? And so hopefully we can maybe do this together, right?
Well,
right now.
Sorry,
no, it's fine. I just want to say, right now is land already earning? No, it's not. Right? We turned that off. Now, we did have a test run. And that test run, I think the land earnings for that have not gone out yet. So expect some wax and some upliftium if you're a landowner to that effect. Don't ask me how much. Don't ask me how we're doing it. I will never answer those questions. Just so we're on the same page. Like that's never going to happen. But it will be some, and it'll be soon. And then we very specifically have announced we have the rewards plugin turned off right now. We're doing some calibrating for it. We're actually going to announce when we turn it back on, and then all that stuff will be going. So more importantly, we right now the community mining rig, which is what this ODNCQ.wham is, right, is doing 40 an hour, which is fun, right? Because it was like 0 an hour before, and now we can make Archipelago. Jimmy, gotta log in.
I don't see it on the screen, so I gotta be able to read it before I see it. I was busy, like before I just agreed and nodded because I was busy pulling up the be like him, not like me, if I'm honest about it.
What's that? So purchase mining, basic this whole, and seriously, like the guys that, like, was it Pigwig, whatever, that built this site, hyper genius. Holy crap. Just set that up.
We should hire him.
I would. Just tell him to come over here. And we'll just make him do things.
I mean, Pigwig, if you're out there, come over here.
Legit. So this just bought a bunch
we'll
of
make sure that, like, you don't give shit away for free.
Right, exactly. Right. Like, I'm telling you, like, this should be taking 1% of my Aether. Like, I would gladly pay it. Like, just take 1% of the Aether for everything that runs through here. He should have been doing that the whole time. But whatever. So yeah, this is just incredible, because once you do this and you do the crafting thing, like every once in a while it's going to pop up and be like, hey, do you approve this? Yep. But look at this. It just is happening. Crafting the stuff that crafts the stuff that crafts the stuff.
What are you crafting with the community account now?
Archipelago.
I like it. Like that's totally a Lego
Archipelago
Minecraft thing.
Hey, you actually can in all the survival worlds. You can actually go into the Nether. So you're welcome.
So I think this warrants repeating. We talked about it on the last episode, so there might be different people who were here than 2 hours ago. The way that the servers are set up, we can't have people coming in from mob worlds or non-mob worlds or creative worlds and transferring resources. So right now, if you're in London, mobs are enabled. If you're in Gratitude, mobs are enabled. So if you port from one world to the other, the semantics of both worlds are the same. So you'll be able to, move resources between those worlds because nothing changes.
I sort of feel like as far as like...
If I'm correct. However, Chicken Cob mobs are not enabled at this time, so you can't port resources.
Yeah.
Genesis is completely creative, so obviously...
So you don't need to do any of that at all.
If you're complaining about not being able to, like, port your resources, then you don't understand.
Fundamental donors know what's happening. Yeah.
So, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I just like the whole porting resources between maps. That's something that I think at this point we are looking at what that will mean for the economies involved, and we haven't decided anything yet. So don't have any expectations around any of that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sending over some. You don't even have to restart the craft tech. Like it starts from where you left off, which is fun. So anyway, I just got to send a bunch of EOS there to stake because fucking.
And I also want to call another concern that's out there. And I think most of the people who are watching this probably understand this, but like if anyone asks in the Telegram channels and we're not around, feel free to, report this information. Any land that we have, the team has, with the exception of the CK7, but any land that the team has, like we're not gifted any land. But when land goes up, for auction, or when land goes up for sale, the only way that like the team is gifted land is the same way that the community is gifted land, right? Like Landom was gifted land depending upon the NFTs that you happen to held in your count at that time, right? Actually, to be honest about it, like the outside communities in Genesis and Gratitude that we brought into the server to like build that community, they were actually gifted more land than the team was. No land was given away to the team for free.
Yeah, we have to buy all of our land. Right. And I think like the company might benefit. And this is the thing, like I've been thinking about like the 2700, like the Uplifters Tower thing or whatever, right? Like I think like you and I should be able to build a house there, and everybody else who's on the team should get like one of the 50s. Like I'd like to do that. I think that'd be a really, really good idea.
Yeah, I think
sort of treat ourselves like one of the other communities that are working in the space, right? That's the only stuff we'll ever be given. All the land that I have, I bought with Wax, and that it is going to remain that way.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, the chicken caw oxen was the best. And I worked through this. I have a couple ideas, but they're not workable yet. I need Tuttle, because she really is a genius. But you're right. It does get pricey on the secondary market, and we're always improving. So just remember this: the chicken caw is, in my personal opinion, not the team's opinion, but in my personal opinion, the chicken caw is the best that we've ever got, but I'm still consciously thinking about how we can make it better. And the reason it's the best that we've ever got is, like, if you had a rail plot in the middle of the ocean, you got a box full of apples, so you didn't die when you starved to death, right? The way that worked out, the way that the dynamic worked out, I think will be ported in other worlds. But yeah, there's not going to be any retribution for land sold and, unfairness given. We're a progressive company that is working through things, and whatever happens in the future, we'll leave the past as it was. And does that kind of make sense, Corey?
Sure.
Like, people are asking, oh, well, it's an unfair advantage. No, it's not an unfair advantage. The whole early server, right?
The people that were there early. This is the thing. It doesn't matter.
A fair advantage, more than fair enough.
Right, like people that were mining Bitcoin in 2011 have, by that definition, an unfair advantage. No, they were there first, and because of them, all of this is possible. Right? That's how this works. That's how it's designed to work. And the thing is, everybody here now, you have a massive, unbelievable advantage for everybody who comes in 2 years from now. Should we flatten that out? No. Everybody wants that advantage. They just want the advantage of the people that came before them, and I'm sorry you can't have it, right? And I shouldn't say everybody. Like, very few people have that opinion. And we'll just, busily smack those things down. And anyway, this thing is just making stuff. I almost want there to be like hold music. It's like,
so Corey, as we all know, is a degen when it comes to our planet. I have officially become a poor. Little bit poor, just because I'm stingy. I have officially become a poor uplift world DJ, right? And I'm not salty about the fact that I didn't get the Our Planet land, but I'm kind of I'm a little bit salty about the fact that I have Landom lands. I do projects in with other projects that I'm associated with in Gratitude and Genesis. So I don't get any reward for those lands, because they're project affiliated. And I'm at the point now where I'm building out my tiny little plot on Chicken Caw that's going to be mine, and I'm going to get those rewards. But I'm probably not going to get very many because my whole idea is land restoration. Everyone is building these big monuments, but I'm fucking permaculture, so I'm going to be on the outside. And you want to see fucking cows, come to my land, right?
Even doing that though, if you're teaching people about permaculture and you restored a piece of land and you hold an event there, which is what everyone should be thinking in terms of not people randomly come into your land. How do you throw an event so that people all come to your land? That's how people should be thinking, in my opinion, right? Because you're going to get random foot travel, fine. But you can't really control that, right? But what you can control is announce on Twitter, hey, everyone come here. This is what we're going to talk about. If you're interested in this, please come to here and, get educated about permaculture and maybe get a permaculture NFT or right? Create value and make it a point that are fuck yeah, I'm coming to there. Because attention is worth something. And that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, so where I was headed with that is Michael EOSIO's cabal on Alien Worlds. I'm starting my own cabal. I'm starting a permaculture cabal. And for the next land sale in CK, because this is where it's going to work best. Whenever that might be, I don't know when it is, to be honest. But if you look at the map and you read between the lines, it kind of seems strange. The mapping of the places that were for sale. I'm just going to say that. And I mean, if you watch a video of Greg, it says that this one's buying, but there might be a Hong Kong port somewhere at some point in time. I'm just referring information that I've heard on the YouTube. And I honestly, Corey will tell you, I know nothing, hence the meme.
That was so well done.
It was really well done, right? Like,
but you should all listen to Jimmy at least some of the time.
Sorry.
Hey, we did it. We did it, family. We did it.
Right.
Yay. So we've got inventory and we got this pack. Oh, this is the moment of truth. Like, what if we got like a good one? Jimmy?
Well, so before you open this, like, I want you to restate the plan. What is the plan?
Okay, the plan is this.
It doesn't matter, like it doesn't matter whether it's a good one or it's a bad one. And
the plan right now,
you and I worked through this when we set the land prices for chicken cock, right? Like we said that it was going to be 25% market value, and when we went through, we were surprised. Because like the 25% below market value meant that like the rail NFTs were going for 2,900. And I taught you a new word. Do you remember what the new word was in Japanese?
I don't, but it was good. I remember that it was good. I'm sorry that I don't remember.
No, it's okay. Shogunai. And
Shogunai
basically means there's nothing that can be done about it because we already decide the rules and the regulations. So I just like, I think this is an interesting opportunity for you to prove the value of Shogunai, which is a Japanese word that means that like there can be nothing. So whether it's good or whether it's bad, what are we going to do with this NFT?
Yeah, no, it could be exactly a common, is completely totally fine. I am actually nailed it. This is a family craft. It's already perfect. Because our little family here, like, built this. This is, you know what I mean? Like, this is day one. So yeah, the whole plan right now is, come hell or high water. Like me personally, I'm donating 17,000 Aether an hour to stuff, right? And right now, we decided to craft something communally for the new sort of community account that's been set up to receive, NFTs to make bundles and give away to people or whatever, which is amazing to me. Like so many people wanted to donate NFTs to it and be part of our giveaways and stuff, which is huge, right? It's, that's huge. So odncq.wem is that community account, right? Everything that comes out of that account will always be going back to the community in some way. And so Gary came up with the idea, and it seemed like others shared it, and it, is a good idea where we basically, take the Aether that I'm donating and we craft stuff that goes into this account that stakes, and then we can actually do stuff with that. So we're like taking the bootstrap and doing more bootstrapping. And then of course, everyone started asking if they could donate Aether, right? Because we needed 1.9 million to craft anything. And some people started donating because I only had $1 million in there. And over the course of this 1 hour, we got over 2 million. So we got to craft archipelago Jesus. And so that this is going to be the first thing. Oh, and somebody actually donated a Ken Bozak that's worth 40 an hour. So right now our family, our uplifters family mining rig is already doing 40 an hour. And whatever this is, we're going to obviously add that to it as well. And even the idea that we might be able to fund like a builders competition, or buy some people Minecraft accounts or whatever, right? Like all this stuff is just going to go back out to the community, and we'll find really fun and interesting ways to do that. So that's where we're at. Now we open this thing, see what we got. To IAM's point, we literally already crushed it because this is an awesome family build. So let's do the thing. Jimmy, drum roll, please. Oh, by the way, maybe no drum roll. Thank you for trying that. It was a valiant effort. One thing I want everyone to be thinking about is the sacrifice of digital chickens. Gary did this last time. I was on a run of common. There's like 15 or 60 of them. I was like literally getting disheartened. And so I asked everybody watching the show to like give me some juju, which I don't even believe in, right? But give me some luck, right? Blow on our proverbial dice, as it were. And Gary was like, he actually has a drum. And Gary was like, I'm going to sacrifice some chickens. Yeah. So yeah, if you have any chickens, preferably digital chickens, no live chickens, kill them now, or even just think about killing digital chickens. And here we go. Jimmy. Oh no, the transaction expired. Here we go. I can't believe there's a real drum for this. Here we go. Coming.
I can't believe we got the drum for the common.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. All right. That's going to be like.
But there's a streak for people who might not know. There is a streak.
There is?
Yes, the common streak for you.
Oh, yeah. No, now. It started. I think I'm at 2 now. What do you mean I don't own it? I just made it. You shut your mouth. Doink. Doink. There we go. All right. So, yeah. Let's see where we're at right now. Oh, that was pretty good, actually. We were at 40. That was a good 256, I think. Not bad. So, yeah, we're at 300 an hour. Again, anybody who wants to donate any NFTs, if they're stakeable, or even potentially are going to be uplift mining, we're just going to keep them in this account. And any sort of non-stakeable stuff, we bundle those up to give away for people. And obviously, any Aether that you want to donate can go to odncq.wham. And yeah, so yeah, restarted the comment streak. Exactly. We're at 1. Actually 2. Actually 3. We're at 3 commons in a row, which is not crazy. But yeah, I'm stoked about it. This is fun. Cool.
It's really fun. I mean, I remember the time that you said, like, I like not having a plan. I like. So I think it's about time that we wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, I want to say one more thing.
Thanks, Greg. Archipelago. But I think I actually want to say that now. Oh, that's like a fun kids drum.
Yeah. So this drum is like a real kids drum. Like, it's a real drum. And as a musician, I don't know how you feel about this, but as a musician, my musician friends, because my daughter, she loves dancing. She's 1.5. And my musician friends said, whatever you do, don't buy her one of those instruments that's not a real instrument. Buy her something that's real. Right? Yeah. Like, and let her play something that's real. And so my friend actually gave me this drum. And it's funny because, like, she's got another, not real drum. And every time she gets the drum and we play together, she hits it 1 or 2 times, and then she picks it up and she turns it upside down, and then she hits the inside of it, which, to us might seem like it's really messed up, but I love it because she's looking at the world that exists and she's turning it over and she's trying to make something better. She might fall on her ass and she might fail, but 9 times out of 10, just that ability to be able to flip everything that we know on its head and make something better is what's going to make the fucking world great. And that's why I love working with you. That's why I love working with M-Blue. That's why I love working with Legend. That's why I love working with this community. All the people who are here, all of the builders, right? I mean, you can't jump on a block 100 times in the real world and then build something fucking awesome that's like an island in the sky. You can't do it, but you can do it here. And that's what I love about it. We are in the business of creativity. We're in the business of, people enabling each other. We're in the business of gratitude. We're in the business of creative philanthropy. We're in the business of making the world a better place. And I love that. I really do. That's the way the world should operate and the world should work. And,
agreed.
I mean, do you want to do the chop?
I mean, it's like that. Yeah. Sorry, I just need to save something here.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, no, I think it's time for the chop. Like, that was a good choppable moment. And we started our family mining rig, which is super fun. Yeah, it was a momentous show. Talked about moral and ethical dilemmas. Did the roundup this morning. It's been a busy morning.
Come back tomorrow if you're at all interested in EOS and what's going on, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a exclusive with Chris Barnes, who basically won the Eden elections, as far as I'm aware. That's going to be super fun. And we're going to learn a lot about what's going on in Eden. We've got some fun stories to tell about that. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil the rest, but we've got a good plan for that. Like, we've got a good plan for like the next 2 weeks where we're going to talk about some cool shit. So
cool beans. All right. You guys rule. Double-handed chop in 3, 2,